Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, ForTheV, back once again in Magic the Gathering Arena. So today, I'm gonna make some small tweaks to this deck that I've made. This Teferi's Hypnosis, that is. As you saw in the last episode, I opened a bunch of packs, got a bunch of new cards, and now I want to add them. But the big thing I got was these wild cards. They'll be very, very useful to fill out my deck with. So first, one thing I want to look up is Into the Story. I want it standard legal, but I'd rather not have it from Throne of Eldraine, as that's about to get rolled out of standard. So we're gonna go into the story, as that's a really good... interesting. Participate into the Royal. This is interesting. Because I don't have craft mode on. That's why. I don't actually own Into the Story. So I need craft mode on so I can craft it. Into the Story is actually a very, very good card. Am I spelling something wrong, though? Oh, I wonder, is Into the Story a Throne of Eldraine card that wasn't reprinted? Because I do not want to use... Yes, it is a Throne of Eldraine card. I do not want to spend wild cards on this card, then. So, what I'm going to do is remove Throne of Eldraine once again. Why don't I want to do this? Well, you see, the new set launches on Magic the Gathering Arena in... As the time of I'm recording this, like 30 days, I think. Or 20 days, maybe. I don't know exactly when. I believe it's the 29th and it's currently the 11th. So about a little over 20 days. Or a little less than 20 days, actually, now that I think about it. So why don't I want that? Well, you see, the trouble with that is, if at the time that this new set rolls out, the oldest set in standard will be made illegal. So why is this a problem? Well, obviously, I can't have the cards I use getting rolled out. I'm looking for the symbol that represents. So, you see, Overwhelmed Apprentice was from the oldest set here in Standard. However, if I find it here... give me one moment, please. Overwhelmed Apprentice is only 1 mana, so... Though I will not find the version that I have. But Overwhelmed Apprentice was reprinted. You see. Zulaport Duelist could be really good in this deck. If I don't have any other common cards I want. It could replace that, Actually, no, it wouldn't, though. Because I like that. I believe that, this Overwhelmed Apprentice was reprinted, wasn't it? It may not have been, actually. Overwhelmed Apprentice may have only been printed in that Throne of Eldraine set. Oh no. Okay, so today we're going to be replacing Overwhelmed Apprentice, so I don't have to do it later. Oops, cancel. So, I gotta quickly turn off craft mode and remove it from my deck to return back to craft mode. We'll then exit out of here. Once again, set up our filter to exclude Throne of Eldraine. We now have 58 cards in this deck. I think Teferi, Master of Time is actually not necessary for this deck. However, it's very nice to have as it creates a very good engine. What's more important is getting to Teferi's Ageless Insight and Teferi's Tutelage, and other similar cards. Another good card to have in this deck would be more Maddening Cacophonies, as it's 8 mil but only 2 costs. So I have Merfolk Windrobers. Alright, so quickly, I'm just gonna double check. I'm gonna look for fairly cheap cards that cost 0, 1, 2, or 3 mana to cast. As the real problem with this deck is it takes a long time to build mill. So I'm going to, as I'm moving through here, look for draw ones. You see? But that's only if. I'm gonna avoid if statements, you see? And that's actually like you play it down, but then you sacrifice it, and it costs a bunch of mana to draw those 3 cards. And since I don't want to use the Into the Story card, I actually rather avoid that card. So I'm gonna look for cheap creatures that allow me to draw. So, yes. No, see, that's actually a very good card. Because it's a flash card, which means it's a creature that can be cast at any time an instant could. Interesting. So, I'm gonna turn off craft mode quick and throw that anti-cognition into my deck quick. Actually, why did I turn off craft mode? It's already in my deck, and it's right here, so it can be added with just the plus button. From here, I need more draw. You see, this allows me to scry and counter. What I really need is just draw. See, this is concerning, as I don't believe it counts as a draw. Anticipate does not count as a draw, possibly, though I could be just talking out of my booty. Cleric of the Chill Depths could be very good in this deck, however, I have other cards I want in this deck, too. So, the Mythic Rare, I'm gonna put into Maddening Cacophony. I'm gonna do that right now, so that's not even a question. Because recently I've been playing to where Maddening Cacophony I don't play because I can't get its kicker cost. However, now with 2, I don't feel as bad playing as it's a 8 mil card. But previously I would like hold on to it so tightly, as it's the only one I have. Now that I have 2, I feel a little bit better. From here, I think my best bet is to replace something like Ruin Crab with something else. But Ruin Crab is just so good. So I'm going to continue looking. Unfortunately, it looks like really I can't. There are no good cheap draw cards, are there? That are like insanely cheap. Let's search it. DRAW, draw, enter. So I need like a 1 mana draw card that always draws, and you see the only one that really exists is Merfolk Windrober and Opt. So next I need 2 mana then. If that player had another land enter the battlefield under their control this turn, they return the land they control to the owner's hand. That's not good. That's just too convoluted. Deliberate, scry 2, then draw? That might be fine. That's discard. I can't do that. I'd rather... This might be good. Because this is guaranteed to draw one card. I think that might be the best bet. Because from here, they might start getting... they might start getting... You may cast this card from your grave card for its escape cost. So escape is... Yeah, that's kind of expensive still. A glimpse of freedom. From here, I'm guessing it's gonna get expensive. Combat damage to an opponent is kind of hard. Except it has Power S. Keep safe. Counter target creature spell. You control. Interesting. Because that's kind of, this might be good. That's... Though it could... It's an enchantment, so it can be removed from the battlefield, which is obnoxious. See, from here it's getting... Yeah, this is just getting expensive, really. You see, Omen of the Sea might be really good. It allows me to scry 2, then draw. And then scry 2 again, at a cost of a sacrifice and mana. Which is obnoxious, though. Whenever you draw a card, put this on here, remove 8 of those, remove it. So whenever I draw a card, put a foreshadow counter on Ominous Seas. But it's an enchantment, and it can be unsummoned. That's my problem with enchantments. I'd rather have an instant. Or a creature that can attack. Yeah, that's not good either, because it's a draw then discard. And now we're getting into expensive mana things, because now we're getting into 3 mana, and I need cheap. This deck runs really, really fast. Yeah, these start getting not really good as they get too convoluted and too, Glacial Grasp. Interesting. Tap target creature, mill 2 cards. It doesn't untap during next untap step, and draw a card. I think Glacial Grasp might be my best bet. That might just be my best bet. But what do I replace it with? Maybe Anti-Cognition for Glacial Grasp? Because I have Stern Dismissal. Because this is draw. This is just scry. I can't afford to lose this. That kind of annoys me, as this is the card I just made. Oops, and then turn off craft mode real quick. We're gonna get rid of 2 anti-cognitions. We're gonna go into craft mode. And we're gonna craft at least 1 extra Glacial Grasp. Thirst for Meaning could also be very good. That could be kinda good, but it's not milling. Whereas Glacial Grasp mills. I think my best bet is to get rid of 2 of those anti-cognitions, craft an extra Glacial Grasp, and run with it. Right? Because Stern Dismissal counters creatures. This counters creatures or Planeswalker spell. This is big because it counters Planeswalker. And that could be useful in weird situations. This is just card draw. From here, I have 3 uncommons. See, Jace Mirror Mage is pretty good, but then when you... that's why, because you scry. It's also not flash, so you don't get to activate it twice like you do to Fury Master of Time. I'm really at a loss right now. Chilling Trap is so situational. I think Deliberate, Scry 2, then Draw could be really good. But I think since Glacial Grasp does so much, that could also be really good. Oh, interesting. So what could happen here is I completely remove Anti-Cognition. I think that's what I do. I turn off Craft Mode. I completely remove Anti-Cognition. But then I'm losing a lot of Scry. But I don't really need Scry, I need Draw. That's what I've been running into recently. And it's a little bit of a situational Scry. So right now I have Merfolk Windrober, which is necessary. Ruin Crab, which isn't absolutely necessary, but is super useful. Opt. Maddening Cacophony. Let's quickly turn on recommended lands. Let's see what I have there. Suggest lands and see how many it suggests. It suggests 16, which frees up a 1 more card slot. Deliberate is good. Deliberate is fine. This is expensive. Deliberate is fine. But it's just a worse opt because it costs more. What's nice about opt is it's like 1 mana and that's it. Omen of the Sea is just Deliberate, but then you can pay 2 and a blue to scry 2 more. That's terrible, actually, now that I'm looking at it. I'd rather just have Deliberate. So I think I said this, maybe? But that wouldn't be good unless you had all 4, and right now I can only craft 2. That's bad. Alright. I think I'm finally making up my mind. Yes, I'm finally making up my mind. Right? Maybe not. What's bad is I don't have many creatures. I got Windrober and Ruin Crab. Those are my only creatures. That's it. The rest is counter. That's actually kind of terrible. This is why I'm reconsidering this. I think I have to filter and get more creatures in this deck. And needs to be a creature. This is really bad, because I have to tap it and then it can't block. Power S when it deals combat damage to a card. If you do, just discard a card. Ugh. This is just so bad. Huh. If you have a mutate, then it requires mutate. That's a problem there, and now we're getting into expensive. Elite Instructor, draw and discard. That's kind of bad. God, I'm looking for like a very specific card that just might not exist. Yeah, that's not that great. What is this? Flash, mutate. It requires combat damage. I don't want combat damage. I just want That's bad too. That's worse than that other guy. Because it's more expensive. Yeah, why would I ever go for that? Deals damage to an opponent. See, that's like combat damage, technically. I'm just looking for something so specific, I think, that I'm just never gonna find it. Three, artifact creature with flying. Enters. That's so expensive! Holy crap. Yeah, what I really need is more draw, though, because I need to get to these cards is what I'm running out of. Teferi Master of Time. Because that'll help with my draw. I guess I don't need... What I need is creatures that don't necessarily draw. I'm gonna accept that. You need creatures that don't necessarily draw. But do mill. Let's see. Let's just type in mill. Let's go into advanced filters. Let's allow 4 and 5 mana cards to show up. I think Zulaport Duelist could be really good. Zulaport Duelist might be my best bet. You see, that's really good, but you need to buff it somehow. Since I still am running Ruin Crab, I want to keep evolving wilds. Relic Golem. 2 and tap, player mills 2 card. That's really, like, a lot of decks run this, but, like, it's bad. It costs too much and it's too slow. I need something early, and it's 3 mana. Wow. Yeah, it's 3 mana. Let's see, let's turn off this mana filter, I guess. It's gotta be a creature card that mills, basically. Those are the 2 requirements. That could be good. It's a 7-drop. Yeah, that's so much worse than Maddening Cacophony, though. That's so much worse. But it's a 6/6, you see. But that's still pretty bad. I think my best bet is Ulaport Duelist, because it'll minimize damage. It's a control card. How many of those commons do I have? I can only craft 2. 1. 1. 2 right there. Craft 2. Alright, can't go back now. Alright, so now I have 3 uncommon, 1 rare, and 1 mythic rare. So that means that in this filter, I can look for rare, mythic rare, and uncommon cards. That narrows down my search a lot, too. I don't want any mill cards. I want draw, is what I need. D-R-A-W, draw. Because these are all the ones that I found earlier and didn't really like. When it attacks, if you control a planeswalker, draw a card. That's not that great. Draw a card, then discard a card. I could look for draw mills, but none of those exist, really. Yeah, I'm just in a weird spot right now. This is banned. I'm guessing it's just really friggin' good. Yeah, I see. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may gain 3 life, draw a card, and then you may put a land from your hand into the battlefield. Yeah, that could be really bad. This is also not legal. It's not legal in any. Is it just overpowered? I heard issues a lot of cards in this Zendikar set getting banned just because they were so good. Do I want this? Do I really want this? Yes. It's a draw, and it allows me to put more mana onto the battlefield. It is a little bit, gimmicky, I guess, would be the word. I'm gonna turn that off, go to Solemn. I just want one of those. It is another expensive card, but it's not that bad. But, like, part of how this deck works is building up a lot of mana, and then, yeah. It's just more search, but it costs. But it doesn't count as land, either. So I could play this, allow one to get out. Yeah, this could be really good, especially near the end of the game. When I might be struggling for mana, this could be really good. Really what I need is more maddening cacophonies. Okay, I'm crafting one, so really all I have left is rare and, uncommon cards, really. That's all I have left that I can make. Yeah, I'm kind of out of wild cards. So what I need to do is just look at, rare cards that might be good. You see, what I need is cheap cards, too. Because that's part of what makes this deck work. So 0, 1, 2, and 3 mana cards. Let's see how many pages I have. 2. Really just 2. Except for this. That's kind of slow, and that's Relic Golem. Like, Relic Golem is good, but not that good. That's not that great. That's not that great. Because it discards. And, like, I got plenty of draw then discard. I got it into Teferi Master of Time and Teferi's Tutelage. I think my best bet might be just to add more negates back into my deck. Really, that might just be my best bet. I don't really want to craft that. Yeah, that's only good against counter spells. I could put that in my sideboard, but really, it's not that great. Yeah, I don't really want that. That's not good. When it enters the battlefield tapped. It does not untap during your untap step if you control a reflection. So the reflection is a 3/2, but the creature is a 2/3. I'm guessing it can be targeted, though, which is obnoxious. I think my best bet is to turn off craft mode, turn off my filters, in terms of these. Okay, and then just look at cards I already have. Yeah, I was gonna throw those 2 in. Stern to Missile's really good. It's also just a card that I can discard without too much worry. I think the next best thing to do is just add in more negates. I got other negates too. And I want to stop looking at creature cards. Really, what I was just trying to do was get another cheap creature into my hand. Yeah, so that's really all I needed. Sure, I'll throw in Chain to Memory. It's cheap. It's real cheap, actually. And I get to scry. Why not? That's not good. That's not... None of that's really useful. Really, what it is a scry card, is what I'm going to use it as. It just happens to have something nice attached to it. I am full on cards, though. So let's see if I go to recommend land. Alright, so I have done a lot this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll finish the deck. I got 3 uncommon cards for the new set. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all later.